Welcome, everyone. This is Gregg Rock. I'd like to welcome you to Digital Business Institute. And one of the first webcasts we wanted to construct on our new community was to try to level set folks' understanding of what digital business is. There's a lot of hype, there's a lot of excitement around all things digital and digital transformation efforts that are underway. But like we've done with a lot of other topics in the past, we're looking to demystify what some of those credentials are and some of those prerequisites are for organizations to do their digital business transformation and for individuals to become digital business leaders. And so the topic of this webcast will be around essential skills that we see that folks are going to need as they lead digital business efforts for their organizations. Digital Business Institute is the newest member of our network of communities. We're in the process of doing a rebranding of our websites. This is a sneak preview of what Digital Business Institute will look like in the coming months. As you know, the website is up live today, a lot of original articles and white papers and content up there, and more things to come, as well as case studies as we go throughout the year. Digital Business joins our BPM community. Folks know us by BPM Institute for quite a long time. We also have a community dedicated to business architecture. And so with 100,000 members worldwide, we look forward to the birth of our new community and covering a new set of topics and challenges for the upcoming year. Folks basically come to us for education, training, and certification on critical topics to their career and to the future of their organizations, and digital business will be quite the same. I've asked 3 of our leading faculty members and subject matter experts to come down today to provide some education on these critical skills going forward. And so we're thrilled to have Andrew Spanyi and Clay Richardson and Cornelius Pone on the phone with us, and we're going to be going through a number of these critical areas. For each of these disciplines or focus areas that we're going to be talking about, we're going to go through the value proposition, the skills that an individual should expect to gain if they become fluent in these areas, some of the pain points and challenges that they'll help to overcome, and also making the business case for why these skills are going to be important going forward. At the end, I'll come back and talk a little bit about our learning paths and some other resources that are available on our various websites. And so Andrew Spanyi is currently faculty member of BPM Institute and DBiz, and also founder and managing director of Spanyi International, a very familiar face to a lot of folks in our community, authored many books in the BPM space and other topics for executives and strategy. We also have Clay Richardson with us, who has co-founded his own organization, Digital Fast Forward. A lot of folks know Clay from his time at Forrester Research, and so we're thrilled to have Clay with us as part of this effort. And Cornelius Pone is Clay's partner and co-founder at Digital Fast Forward, and Cornelius is going to be talking to us about robotic process automation, artificial intelligence, and other key topics that are going to be relevant in the near future and going forward. And so with that, I'd like to turn things over to Andrew Spanyi.
Well, thank you very much, Greg. It's my pleasure to talk today about Digital Business 101, which is our foundational course on digital business. And as Greg mentioned, there's a great deal of excitement around the new digital tools and technologies, and yet many companies are still struggling. Forbes recently estimated that 84% of companies are struggling with digital transformation. So what is digital business anyway? Digital business is the disruption of existing practices by an unprecedented convergence of people, processes, and things. Several years ago, the MIT Initiative on Digital proposed that it's important for a successful digital program to focus on customer experience, operational process improvement, and challenging business models. Not just one of those, but all 3. And the way that organizations do that is by applying digital tools. Not just the original set of social, mobile, analytics, and cloud, commonly known by the acronym SMAC, but artificial intelligence, robotic process automation, design thinking, and the Internet of Things. Very exciting field that we are in right now in digital business. The value proposition of digital business begins with an enduring focus on customer experience, improving transparency, cutting costs, and improving an organization's ability to be agile or adaptive. All of this combining to be integral to strategy execution. The challenges that digital business addresses is first and foremost using digital tools so that customers get the outcomes that they deserve and that they demand. Improving operations and driving agility is the second challenge that digital business addresses, and also deploying technology. So many companies have struggled in terms of deploying technology, and digital assists in defining the business problem first and then deploying the appropriate technologies. Business process improvement is another challenge that is addressed by digital with automation and various tools. But what's really important, I believe, in digital is that digital assists with cross-departmental collaboration. So those are the challenges that digital addresses. The business skills needed for digital, here are a list of them. Customer journey mapping, design thinking, artificial intelligence, cognitive computing, BPM, just to name a few. But these business skills are addressed in our course, Digital Business 101, and the objectives for this foundational course includes understanding the key components of digital business, being able to identify the major pitfalls, and being able to articulate the role of various digital tools in an overall digital business effort. The capabilities that digital business provides to organizations begins first and foremost with customer experience management. The customer journey mapping and the various digital tools are intrinsic to that. Digital business really allows organizations to improve the way in which they measure performance. It allows organizations to drive incremental revenues and hence grow the business, to better execute process improvements, and in effect, just become better at change management. So very powerful digital business capabilities are intrinsic to digital business. The business case for digital really, it's really a matter of survival. With the billions of people and organizations and tools that are connected to the internet, this digital business is here to stay. Customer value creation, becoming more adaptive, lowering costs, and improving operational performance are the more tangible aspects of the business case for digital. But it really is a matter of survival. And that's all I have to say about Digital Business 101, and I'd like to hand it over to Clay Richardson to talk about design thinking.
Thank you, Andrew. That's a very, very good introduction to digital business. And so now what we want to pivot to is start looking at some of the underlying practices that are essential to digital business, one of which, very important, is design thinking. And so with design thinking, the focus is on having a collection of practices that helps teams better identify with customer experiences while also shifting from logical problem solving into creative experimentation. And so for a lot of you that are process professionals, we know a lot of the focus of problem solving is more around logical, kind of deductive steps. Whereas when we start getting into digital business, we have to focus on creative experimentation because in a lot of cases, we're building new things that didn't exist before, or we're extending existing applications to be more innovative. And so we go through, with design thinking, we're able to go through this process around ideating and coming up with new ideas, but also empathizing with customers and employees that will use our new digital solutions. And then getting into defining what is the best solution, being able to frame the best innovations, best digital ideas, and get into very rapid prototyping. So being able to do what we call low-fidelity prototypes, and then deploying those low-fidelity prototypes for rapid testing so we can get feedback from customers that we want to serve. In terms of the value proposition, the key here is design thinking provides a set of dynamic processes that allow you to solve problems creatively, right? So giving you a new toolkit, set of tools to use to be able to go attack a problem where it may be a white fields space or green field space, white space, if you will. It also supports collaborative brainstorming. That's another part of the value proposition of design thinking, is you're able to come together as a team and collaborate and brainstorm ideas and support ideas no matter where they're coming from, right? So it gives you these tools to be able to brainstorm more effectively. And at the center of this, if we go back to what Andrew laid out with digital business and how important the customer perspective is, design thinking allows you to foster deep empathy with customer pain points when you're defining new solutions. So instead of building a solution with just the technology in mind, we begin to put the customer at the center of the solution and then build around the customer pain points. What design thinking also provides is a way to test low-fidelity prototypes, most importantly at low cost and low risk, right? So with digital business, we're moving very fast. We're trying to come up with new ideas very quickly. And so the key here is design thinking is going to allow you to do this at a fraction of the cost. And also, even if you fail, it still is not going to derail your efforts, right? So it's this low cost, low risk is the other part of the value proposition. So some of the common pain points we see teams addressing when it comes to design thinking. In some cases, teams have run into a brick wall around the ability to innovate in the face of new competitors and new digital products coming around. I'm sure you've heard about Borders and Blockbuster, names that we don't hear often anymore, other than being the poster children for roadkill on the digital highway. And so as Andrew said previously, it's about survival, right? And so design thinking gives you a way to jumpstart that innovation. Also, the disconnect between customer-facing and back-office teams, and we see this a lot when companies are trying to drive innovation or trying to build towards a digital vision, is the front office team. If you think of these as the marketers or the customer experience people, they operate in a very different way from the back office teams, right? And so what design thinking gives you is a common language, begins to give you a common language for communicating. And so that's a big pain point that we see design thinking address. Also, the slow pace of driving digital transformation. And so sometimes when teams are starting to move towards digital transformation, they begin to move at a molasses pace, right? Very slow pace. And so design thinking provides a process for accelerating the transformation journey and really breaking it down into smaller chunks. So that's another key pain point. And the last pain point here is the executives pushing teams to drive higher ROI. And so as a BPM person coming from a BPM background myself, I know executives are asking business process leaders to move away from incremental performance gains and incremental process improvement ROI and into disruptive ROI potential. How can we enter into a new market? How can we change the way we think about our business model introduce new digital products that go beyond the 10 to 15% incremental process improvement and really get into more significantly higher gains. So we're talking, in some cases, a new product line that introduces 50%, if not more, ROI opportunity and gains from a performance standpoint. And as we look at the skills that you need to build to be an effective design thinker and what the course will offer, it's really about the superpowers that you will be able to gain and pick up as we go through the content. And so the key superpowers that you will be able to pick up through the course is being able to frame customer challenges in a way that allows for innovative thinking and innovative ideas. Observing people to form insights. This is the empathy part, right? So being able to observe customers, being able to observe employees, how are they working with different systems, processes, applications to brainstorm and come up with new ideas on how you can introduce a new product or a new service that makes things completely different. Also, being able to do creative brainstorming. We all think we can brainstorm, but in truth, the most important part of brainstorming is being able to be open to new ideas. And in a lot of cases, we don't have the tool set to keep us open or to help our team be open to new ideas. And so that's another superpower that's essential. And then rapid prototyping and customer validation provide, these superpowers are essential to be able to move at light speed when it comes to driving new digital business ideas and products. In terms of the skill sets you'll need to really drive a team around design thinking, it really requires a creative mindset. So being able to come in, think creatively, but also help your team think creatively. It also requires an openness to failure, right? So we talk about the sphere of failure, fail fast, all of this. It's really important to have that skill set when you're starting to work with teams around design thinking. Customer-centered design, this is cuts through and is the essence of design thinking. And as a team, you have to be able to put the customer first, set aside your priorities, and make sure the customer is at the center of the problem and the solution, if you will. And then we already talked a little bit about empathy and just being able to relate to the individual that's using the technology or the business, digital business product that you've developed. Agile principles and innovative problem solving are essential skills when you're working with teams around design thinking and building digital business. And Agile principles gives you a way to drive at speed and organize the delivery in a way that is iterative, right? So we're not talking about Agile development here. We're talking about just Agile principles around how you want to be able to break things down, break ideas down, break the product down into manageable chunks that can be released and tested very quickly. And so the business case for design thinking focuses on combining this customer-centered innovation focus, which is the left brain thinking, more creative thinking, with the right brain back office operational excellence perspective, right? So we know we have these legacy applications. We already have processes in place. They're all not going to go anywhere, right? But at the same time, we need to start looking at how do we bring more creativity and customer-centered innovation into these legacy processes to build the digital business. And so at the end, the value proposition around design thinking is giving you the ability to unlock new use cases that drive disruptive competitive advantage and unlocks new business value. And so with that, I'm going to hand it over to Cornelius Pone to talk more about RPA.
Hey, thanks, Clay. Definitely, design thinking is one of those key methodologies that we definitely leverage for RPA and other emerging digital technologies. So what we're going to talk about is, during the training, is what exactly is RPA, right? And RPA is the application of technologies that automates workflows and certain repetitive tasks that are either being done programmatically or being done by a human at a terminal, right? The part with the RPA that's really key that we see a lot of businesses using is actually leveraging RPA with artificial intelligence and machine learning to complete and manage more complex work as well as more complex tasks. Transition to the value proposition for RPA. This is where we see RPA actually being able to help existing businesses is around the execution of their current strategy, as well as within the improved customer experience. And we'll talk a little bit more later about the improving customer experience leveraging RPA and its associated technologies. It also helps improve transparency. We can be able to track to see exactly who did what, when, especially around the bot. And with RPA, there's actually a low initial investment. To be able to launch a pilot in RPA, we're not talking millions of dollars. It's actually something that thousands of dollars range. And then it also allows you to be able to improve the agility of the business. You're able to make changes rather rapidly with various different technologies. The challenges that we see teams addressing around RPA, I'll listen to following. I'll just touch upon some of these. One of them is actually being able to help customers drive the outcomes that they deserve. So you can think of it in a way that if you're looking to be able to give customers speedy and quick resolutions to the issues that they're having, RPA is a great technology to be able to take advantage of that. It also allows you to be able to drive operations and drive agility in their back offices, therefore also helping with your customer engagement. It allows you to be able to define the business problem and then choose amongst the different RPA technologies to be able to deploy and address that problem rather quickly. It also allows you to be able to rapidly integrate multiple systems. So instead of having to involve IT and going through major rework of the existing systems, you can lay the RPA and RDA on top of the existing systems and be able to integrate them. Also, it allows you to be able to leverage IoT, Internet of Things, to be able to drive automation using RPA. It's one of the challenges that you can address with it. Okay. Some of the skills that you gain during the course is the capability to be able to understand exactly what is RPA and how it fits within your organization and how you can leverage it today. You also will also cover how RPA and artificial intelligence and other digital technologies like machine learning, IoT, and how RPA fits within those. Then we'll talk about how we design an RPA bot that drives further customer engagement. And then one of the key areas that is being overlooked recently, but we're starting to see a lot of people talk about it, is how do you govern bots? How many bots do you have out there? How do you manage them? What's the security around the bots? We just don't want bots running around within an organization without some sort of governance and management structure. And then one of the key things that I think you'll be able to get out of this course is the capability to be able to create your own bot. We'll actually work through an example where everybody will be able to come and touch and develop and deploy their own bot. The RPA capabilities are broken up into 5 major areas that we see being used. You can use the RPA to be able to help advise. That's where some of the machine learning and the AI piece comes in, that you can advise either customer service representative or person in the organization using the bot. It also can replace work that's been currently being done by an individual so they can focus on more high-value tasks. It allows you to be able to extend the existing technology infrastructure without you having to rip and replace. You can leverage RPA capabilities to extend the shelf life of it. It allows you to also to engage with your customers either through the chatbots and other conversational pieces within RPA. And also you can work alongside a human being, be able to assist them to do their daily work. So transitions to business case for RPA. I mean, these are some of the areas that we have seen in the past and current customers and clients that we're working with is that it allows them to improve their business agility. A key feature there is accelerating the time to value. You can deploy bots rather quickly and RPA and RDA within an organization in a period of months. It allows you to improve your current processes efficiency. So if there's a lot of manual tasks within your process, it can actually be sped up using some of the tools around RPA. Allows you to extend the shelf life of a legacy application. I think I also just briefly talked about that. And also it helps improve both the employee and customer experience. And with that, I think I will turn it over to Andrew.
Thank you, Cornelius. Thank you very much. And it's my pleasure to talk about the fourth course that is in the curriculum for digital business with the DBIZ Institute, which is digital customer experience. Well, customer experience has been around for quite some time. In fact, one particular study estimated that as many as 10% of Fortune 500 companies have a chief customer experience officer. So what has changed was actually the digital tools that have changed the nature of customer experience to become digital customer experience. Companies are increasingly recognizing that it's important not just to capture the touch points or so-called moments of truth that a customer has with a company, but that it's important to transition to the entire customer experience journey that a customer has. And the various digital tools of social, mobile, analytics, cloud, artificial intelligence, etc., have a critical role in providing customers with the personalization and the self-service that they demand and that they deserve. The value proposition for digital customer experience is indeed exciting. First and foremost, it's really important to use digital tools in creating more value for customers and delivering the kind of experiences that meet or exceed their expectations, because what that does is it drives loyalty and retention, which turns into incremental revenue and delivers holistic and intuitive experiences. The trusted relationships that digital customer experience can produce are something that actually provides long-term revenue generation and improved profitability. So driving operational efficiency, effectiveness, and value is the bottom line in terms of digital customer experience. Some of the challenges that digital customer experience addresses includes silo behavior. By looking at the business from the outside in, or the customer's point of view, it becomes important and clear that departments need to cooperate and collaborate to create value for customers. Digital customer experience can tear down old, outdated rules and bureaucracy. It can help organizations start to measure the things that really matter to customers instead of looking at the traditional metrics of volume and cost and revenue, organizations that embrace digital customer experience will begin to measure the aspects of quality and timeliness that are truly important to customers. And digital customer experience can help address that old inside-out thinking, that outmoded thinking where the company thinks that they know better what customers want than the customers themselves. Some of the skills that are intrinsic to digital customer experience: customer journey mapping. Design thinking is closely related to success with digital customer experience. Systems thinking, facilitation skills, analytics and big data. Digital customer experience can help organizations to become better at process improvement and change management than they have in the past by looking at the business from the outside in. The capabilities that digital customer experience allows organizations to build is basically driving loyalty, which translates into incremental revenues and building the business, better measuring performance with more balance between what matters to customers and what matters to the company, and better manage change by looking at the business from the customer's point of view, as well as all of that translating into improved profitability. The business case for digital customer experience is pretty compelling. It's customer value creation through loyalty and repeat business, more adaptiveness or an agile approach to improving performance, lower costs, better measurement, basically all of that translating into growth and survival. And so that's all I have to say about digital customer experience, and I'd like to ask Gregg to wrap up the session.
All right. Well, Andrew, Cornelius, and Clay, thank you all very much for covering these topics and helping to break down or kind of demystify some of these folks for our members and helping them understand, what type of capabilities are going to be needed going forward. What we've covered today is an overview of the 4 core courses that we're announcing under the Digital Business Institute. There's a series of additional elective courses that we'll talk about on another day. We're running toward the end of our time here. But, what this really is a continuation of our reputation and history of providing vendor-neutral, practical training courses for practitioners that are going to help them to elevate their career to the next level. And certainly what we're seeing with the focus on digital business, these skills will be greatly needed. There is a lot of research that's been done. The analyst firms have reported that 66% of CIOs believe that there's a talent crisis worldwide, and that they're concerned about being in a competition for talent. And so I think for organizations that are trying to figure out how to acquire top talent and keep top talent, these types of courses and programs are important to let your people know that you're investing in them and providing them the skills that they're going to need, and also to bring those capabilities to the company as our team is represented here on the slides. I wanted to mention that we're also announcing, along with the ability to take these individual classes, that we have announced the first certificate program of its kind, designed for digital business leaders. And Andrew Spanyi and Clay Richardson and Cornelius Pone are the leading instructors for us that are going to be delivering these classes through our various delivery methods and throughout the year. And so that certificate is joining a comprehensive program of professional certificates that we've been running for the last 15 plus years, incorporating topics like BPM and business architecture, operational excellence, agile business analysis. And as we've done with our other courses, we're making them available through a host of different delivery methods. The on-demand version of these courses will be out later in the year, but in the very near future, you'll have access to these courses The first debut at our face-to-face events is going to be in Chicago the week of April 23rd. We'll be featuring all 4 of these courses during that event. And then live online, they'll be done in time to join the spring session, which is going to kick off on May 9th. And then, as you can see, we'll follow through with the rest of the year. And so if you have any questions about the courses for yourself or for your team, we encourage you to reach out to us. We're happy to schedule consultations for answer any questions that you may have. But I just wanted to take a moment to thank Andrew and Cornelius and Clay once again for the work that they've put into creating this curriculum, but also helping folks to understand, which skills are going to be critical for digital business leaders, and helping to give us an overview of those things today. So thank you very much, guys. And with that, I'll wrap up this webcast.